In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to crochet the even berry stitch. Gorgeous textured stitch, quite a dense fabric, also quite a thick fabric for you if you're wanting to make something that is slightly warmer. It's a 2-row repeated pattern, meaning the reverse is slightly different, and on the right side you have your berries pushing forward, giving you that gorgeous texture. So let's have a look at the tutorial. So for this tutorial I'm using a Stylecraft Aran. I have a 5mm crochet hook, scissors to cut off my end, needle to sew in my end, and a stitch marker just in case I need one. So we're going to start off by making a slip knot. You can do this in whichever way you prefer. And we're going to be making a foundation chain. Now a foundation chain needs to be made in an even number, so any multiple of 2 would work for this stitch. I'm going to go up to 20 for this sample stitch. So I'm going to yarn over and pull through the slip knot, that's 1 chain. Yarn over, pull through the loop on my hook, that's 2, 3, 4, 5. So as I say, I'm going to go up to 20. You can make your piece as large or as short as you would like, and I shall see you in a moment. So I have my foundation chain, a multiple of 2, so mine is 20 stitches long. And we're going to start row 1 by making a double crochet, that's UK terminology, in US that would be single crochet, in the second chain from the hook. So we're not counting the one on the hook, so 1, 2. So we insert into that chain, yarn over, pull through, you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through both of those loops. So that's 1 double crochet. Going to do a double crochet into the next stitch, so insert, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through both of those loops. And we're going to do a double crochet in each of the chains all the way back down the row. So you should have 1 less stitch than the number of chains you did, so I should have 19 stitches by the end of this row. So pause the video now whilst you work your double crochet row, and I shall see you at the end for row 2. So I've just finished row 1, there are my 19 double crochets, and I'm going to start row 2. Now rows 2 and 3 are the repeated pattern for the whole project. So we're going to chain 1, turn our work. The chain 1 does not count, therefore we're going to work into that very first stitch there, and we're going in there with a slip stitch. So insert through both parts of the stitch, yarn over, pull through a loop, and then pull that loop through the one on your hook, and there's your slip stitch. The next stitch we're going to do is the berry stitch. So we're going to yarn over, insert into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through a loop. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the very first loop. Yarn over, insert into the stitch again, exactly the same stitch. Yarn over and pull up a loop. You should have 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 5 loops, and there is your first berry stitch done. The next stitch is going to be a slip stitch, and I recommend making your slip stitches fairly loose so that you can work into them later on. So there's our slip stitch, and then in the next stitch we're going to do a berry stitch. So I'll do that one slowly again. So yarn over, insert into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first loop, you should still have 3 loops on your hook there, yarn over, insert into exactly the same stitch, yarn over and pull through a loop. You should now have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 5 loops, and that's your berry stitch done. Slip stitch into the next stitch. berry stitch in the next stitch, so yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first one only, yarn over, insert into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, you should have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 5, and then slip stitch into the next stitch. And when you turn it over, you can see those berry stitches have been pushed forward, and there's the back. So we're just going to work our way along the row with berry stitch, slip stitch, berry stitch, slip stitch, and you will end your row on a slip stitch. Okay, so carry on down the row and I will meet you at the very last stitch, ready to do row 3. So pause the video now. Okay, so I've come to my very last stitch, so I'm going to put my slip stitch in there, and that is row 2 complete. So for row 3 then we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Again, the chain 1 does not count, so we're going to be working into the very first stitch there. And we're going to go in with a double crochet, that's single crochet in US. So insert, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the 2. In the top of the berry stitch we're going to do a slip stitch. So if you move the berry out of the way, you'll be able to see the 2 parts of the stitch that you need to work through. So you're not working through the bits that are pushed forward, you're working through the bits at the top. And in there we're going in with a slip stitch. Again, don't make your slip stitch too tight, otherwise you won't be able to work into it later. Then in the slip stitch from the previous row we're going in with a double crochet. Remember that's single US, and then slip stitch into the next stitch. Double crochet into the slip stitch into the berry stitch. Double crochet and slip stitch. And by putting in this extra row here, it means when you come back to do your berry row, all the berries are going to be pushing through on the same side rather than one on the back, one on the front. So we can call this a returning row. So we're returning back to the beginning in order to do the berry stitch. So we're doing double crochet and then a slip stitch. So row 3, you just need to work your way back down the row, double crochet, slip stitch until you get to your very last stitch. So my very last stitch there, I'm putting in a double crochet, and there I have my row complete. So now we're going to be repeating row 2, so I'm going to chain 1. Chain 1 doesn't count, therefore we work into the very first stitch, and we're going in with a slip stitch, and then the next stitch we're going to do a berry stitch. Next stitch is a slip stitch, and in the next stitch we do a berry stitch. And this is why I said you need to keep your slip stitches loose, because if you're trying to go in to do a berry stitch and your slip stitch is too tight, you're going to find it really difficult to work the number of stitches you need to. So I'm going to work up a few more rows now for you to see how the pattern looks when there are more berry rows, and I shall see you in a moment. So I've just worked up a few more rows for you to see how it looks. So on the right side you have these lovely berries which give it a nice texture and make it quite a dense yarn, and then on the reverse side obviously looks different because it's a 2-row repeated pattern, so you just have this sort of plain stitch on the back and then your berries on the front. So a nice, easy, simple, straightforward but nicely textured stitch. One I think because of its density would be quite nice for trivets and pot holders, equally nice for scarves in the winter or if you're wanting a very warm blanket. If you've enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm to do its thing and to show it to other crocheters. If you enjoyed seeing my stitch marker today, this is the fairy stitch marker in the crescent moon from my Shopify shop. Also available in my Etsy shop if you prefer to shop that way. Lots of other lovely haberdashery and stationery things available in my stores, so please feel free to go and check that out if you're looking for a gift for yourself or for another crocheter. I shall pop 2 more videos on the side of the screen over here to help you on your crochet journey, and I shall see you over there. Thank you so much for joining me on this one, and happy hooking!